All right. Good morning, class. This is Mr. Buckley here again for day one of teaching sample. All right. Let me just share my screen. 1 sec. All right, great. So today we're going to be learning about character traits, what makes up a character trait, how to identify them, and how to apply the strategies that we learn. So character traits are anything that you can, any adjective that describes a character based on what they do, and anything that you kind of get a sense of who the character is, what you can expect from them based on what they've done. So to identify character traits and to apply them to the character, we have a three-step strategy. So first we have identify, evaluate, and attach. So kind of keep these three steps in mind when going about this, and it'll make the process a whole lot more painless and swift. So first off, identify. So choosing an important action or quote which reveals something about the character. This could be anything big or small, any, one word quote, long quote, but anything that kind of has some indication as to who the character is, anything that feels of significance. Then we have evaluate. So ask yourself, how does this action change how I look at this character? Is it a good or bad act? Why does the character do this? So any kind of question that, tries to get a little bit past the surface of the text, asking any kind of looking for meaning, looking for something that it reveals about the character. And then with those answers that you find to that question, you attach a word or adjective as a characteristic. So consider the question, the context and intention behind the decision, and then you attach a word to the character. So for an example, I know you've all seen Harry Potter, so we'll start with a quick tutorial. So we identify the action as being Harry Potter saves Cedric Diggory and decides to share the championship with them. So that's what we identified as from the text. So in evaluating it and kind of thinking a little bit more deeply, we asking these questions decide that this action shows Harry Potter values personal relationships much more than he does success and valor. So if you guys could send in the chat a characteristic that we could describe to Harry Potter, because based on this identification and evaluation. Altruistic, great. Loyal. All right, just in the sake of time, we're gonna go in. Those are two great examples. So for this class, you're supposed to have read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. We just finished that up. So would someone read this quote real quick?
Yeah, I got it. If they would rather die, said Scrooge, then they had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. So in thinking about that quote, actually, before we jump to that, what's some questions you can ask about Scrooge and answers that you would have to those questions based on this quote?
Maybe what is his outlook towards other people he surrounds himself with?
Right. And how would you answer that question?
Let's say maybe miserly or sad.
Yep. Two great answers. Yeah. Yeah, you could attach anything from miserly, selfish, very cruel. All that would apply. So for the sake of time, we're going to stop there. Thank you for your participation, and see you guys next class.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, sir.